let's get started. Good morning. My name is Shane Ferguson. I'm the Region 2 Transportation Director for the Colorado Department of Transportation. You know, last month was our first ribbon cutting for the MAMSIP project at Charter Oaks Ranch Road. And today we're here to celebrate the completion of the State Highway 94 project. This project is the second component of the Military Access, Mobility, and Safety Improvement Project. This Colorado 94 connects both Peterson and Schriever Space Force bases. Our local military installations play a critical role in the regional economy as they represent Colorado's largest employer. The safety enhancements for Colorado 94 relate to the potential to reduce crashes, improve infrastructure, and address physical deficiencies that contribute to the crashes along this vital transportation corridor that connect both Space Force bases. These improvements include a westbound passing lane, intersection signalization, improved left turn movements, in addition to closed circuit television security cameras at both the Mark Scheffel Road in 94 as well as the Enoch Road in 94. Construction of the westbound passing lanes kicked off one of the first projects for the MAMSIP back in 2019. And this one, phase 2, includes a signalization here at Blaney and was completed just recently at the cost of $10 million. Funding contributions from CDOT as well as from the Department of Transportation, the Better Utilization Investments to Leverage Development Grant or the BUILD grant, as well as partnership with Federal Highways and our locals. The Colorado 94 improvements are possible by cooperation between CDOT, El Paso County, the military, Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority, Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, and our community. And each have played an important, vital role in making this thing happen. So we want to recognize and celebrate each of you. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Director Shoshana Liu from the CDOT Department of Transportation.
Thank you, Shane, and thank you for your incredible leadership in Region 2, both in your current capacity and your prior one where you had a lot to do with getting this particular project done. It's really a pleasure to be here to celebrate the improvements on 94. And I think we sometimes think of the I-25 improvements when we think of MAMSIP, but I actually think that the various things that we're doing on 94 really embody what makes this project so important as part of our 10-year plan. Just to share a little anecdote about the 94 experience before we start. When we first began, and I see Andy nodding because he remembers this conversation, when we started to go around the state talking about what kinds of projects needed to be prioritized as part of the new 10-year plan, one of the kind of iconic conversations that defined the way we approached outreach was the one where our colleagues in the Department of Defense talked to us about the need to improve several different components of 94. We talked a lot about these sort of simple but smaller enhancements that were really needed to create safety improvements on this vital roadway. And it kind of struck us at CDOT that if the military couldn't get their small and medium-sized projects on the list, we needed to do something a little differently in terms of our outreach. So, the fact that these small but mighty projects on 94 got onto the plan, I think really signaled a shift for us about taking these small and medium-sized projects as seriously as the bigger ones, particularly when they have the kind of core strategic access that we see in an area like this one. The two military installations connected by 94, Peterson and Schriever, are respectively home to the global headquarters of North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, the Department of Defense Operational Center for Global Positioning Systems, something we all rely on in our daily lives pretty heavily, and the provisional headquarters of U.S. Space Command. Should be the once and future U.S. Space Command. I think we all agree on that. Together, these two installations employ approximately 15,000 military and civilian personnel, and having safe and efficient transportation access is really critical, not just to those employees and to the national defense system, but to all of us who rely on everything they provide us, from our safety and security to the use of GPS, which is, I think, something that is not always appreciated as being housed in this particular area. And CDOT really values the importance of our role in the strategic defense of our country and the economic vitality of the region. And really, it's the core of what the interstate was founded around. When you look at the authorizing statute around the interstate system, it was about creating a system of national defense. So this is about as core to our mission as sort of proprietors of the federal interstate system as any. And we really value also the partnership of the Federal Highway Administration and appreciate John Cater being here because it's such a kind of core asset as we think about the mission of what we do in that part of our role. A transportation network that supports the safe and efficient movement of personnel and equipment is so critical also to the area's growth and to the economy of this area. And really, we can't be appreciative enough for the dialogue that has led to the improvements that we're announcing today. The completion of 94 improvements benefits all those who travel this corridor, supports the military installation missions by improving visibility, and allowing the safe passing of vehicles along the stretch of highway, which unfortunately has seen several fatalities in recent years. So we're so happy to see this component of MAMSIP complete. It's one that I feel a personal attachment to, given those early conversations and the work that so many people here put into getting this on the list, and really just happy to see it done. So thank you, and it's my pleasure to introduce our partner, John Cater, the Division Administrator at the Federal Highway Administration, who played a big role in getting us that federal grant.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. It's always a pleasure to see the results of our efforts. We spend a lot of time in the development stage of projects. We try to get funding, and we're trying to get them through the process and get the environmental clearance and the right of way and on. It's always great to come out here and see finished products and actually see what we have and see what it looks like when all the process is done. We've got something tangible to enjoy and use. As Shoshana mentioned, the Federal Highway's role is kind of a multifold one, but providing access for mobility and the defense of the country is one of the core things we do. Design, construction, maintenance, all is critical to having a safe and functional transportation system. And so we cherish our partnership with CDOT and local governments as well in making that happen. Safety and mobility is key, and you don't get there. You don't get that without partnership with the folks on the ground and the local side of things. And I think this project is a fantastic example of that, where we've got local governments, we've got Department of Defense, we've got the state, we've got the MPO, the local planning process, all come together to identify these projects, come together, identify funding, and then make it happen. So tremendous projects, and great to see this come to fruition. Teamwork and partnership again is one of those things that I can't emphasize enough. We value those relationships, those partnerships, and that's not only those I mentioned before, but it's also businesses, citizens, and others to provide their input, provide their thoughts to make this work and make it work as well as possible. Safety is another thing that's absolutely critical. We're at a time right now where nationally our fatalities are up as high as they've ever been. In Colorado, similar situation. So projects like this, where we can identify safety improvements, make things better on the engineering side, and put those things into place, are fantastic, because we have to be doing those kinds of things to help reduce fatalities. But we also have to do it on the other side as well, reducing distracted driving, and on it goes. But great to see this project, great to see it completed. And again, my hat's off to everybody who's involved, and to SEMA Construction, who helped make it, who built it and make it happen. So with that, appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I'll turn it over to Lisa Torman Hickey, the Transportation Commissioner for District 9 with CDOT. So Lisa, please come.
Thank you so much, John. Lisa Torman Hickey, Transportation Commissioner. And I'm currently on the commission, but I speak with prior commissioners who have served in my role earlier, including Dan Stewart, who was here a couple decades ago. And he said, and Mayor Sharon Thompson of Fountain said at the last ribbon cutting that Dan Stewart really helped conceive these projects, these MAMSIP projects, numbers of years ago, because he knew that the military had needs for military mobilization in and out of the bases, and that we could combine that with our local regional needs. And so it speaks to how our development of long-term plans can play out over time, but benefit each of us as they roll out. And certainly they're serving current needs, which have only increased over the years. One of the biggest benefits of this project is certainly improved safety by reducing motor vehicle crashes. Death and injury from traffic crashes continue to be among the most serious public health problems facing our country. Fatalities have increased in the last few years for a variety of reasons, but we're committed to reversing these trends. We value each and every life and want to improve efficiency in the infrastructure while we also address human behavior, which is exacerbated by outdated and crowded roads. The economic costs of motor vehicle crashes are in the billions. Included in these losses are lost productivity, medical costs, legal and court costs, emergency service costs, insurance administration costs, congestion costs, property damage, and workplace losses. Crashes also cause congestion and traffic backups. Approximately half of all traffic congestion in the nation is caused by motor vehicle crashes. So it's a continuing cycle that we can address through safety improvements like this MAMSIP project. Reducing crashes through transportation safety improvements is what this project was designed to do. Traffic safety measures like MAMSIP are one of the best ways to positively impact the economy and improve our quality of life for all residents and visitors to the Colorado Springs area. In addition, as a catalyst for economic productivity and development, this MAMSIP project will improve roadway efficiency and overall accessibility and improve the military's mobility into and out of our valued military bases. These are critical safety improvements for our region. I thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm honored to do so, and we were pleased to approve it as part of our 10-year plan. Now, please welcome Lojinos Gonzalez Jr., El Paso County Commissioner, District 4.
Thank you. I'm Lojinos. Good morning. I'm El Paso County Commissioner Lojinos Gonzalez Jr. And what a special day. It is so exciting to see the second project complete for MAMSIP. As proud hosts of 5 military installations, plus the National Guard that serves approximately 45,000 active duty military, guard, and reserves, plus 15,000 federal employees, civilians, El Paso County was pleased to support this project with funding and resources to improve our safety and mobility along this corridor. The region is also home to approximately 94,000 veterans who will see the impacts of these projects. Additionally, the aerospace defense and defense industry in El Paso County includes more than 500 space, aerospace, cybersecurity, technology, and defense companies employing approximately 86,000 people, in addition to the military and space company suppliers. They and our community all benefit from the type of investments we are seeing here today. I and El Paso County congratulate our partners and thank all who are involved in bringing this great project to fruition. Now, please help me welcome Andrew Gunning, PPACG Executive Director.
Great, thank you, Commissioner. And this really is a great day and really a culmination. The work's not done overall, but a good culmination of all the great work and collaboration over the past couple of years. All directly impacting the regional economy and playing a fundamental role in the Pikes Peak area transportation network. Our goal at PPACG is to improve the economic vitality across our region by moving people and goods safely across the region. And as they say, I want to foot stomp safely. That's been a really key issue out on Highway 94 and really across our region. And trying to balance safety improvements with our rapid population growth is even a greater challenge. The state demographer's office is estimating that we're going to add about another 250,000 of people to our population throughout our region by the year 2040 or so. So we'll be about 1 million people in around 2040 and between 2040 and 2050. They're also forecasting that we're going to add about another 200,000 jobs over the next 25 years. So this expected increase in population means more daily trips to work, to shop, for health and wellness. This MAMSIP project is another great element of our transportation network and an example of how we are responding to critical transportation needs for today and for the future growth of the region, with safety, with mobility, with access, all positively contributing to the quality of life for all of us who live and work here. These kinds of projects take time and collaboration between multiple jurisdictions and all levels, as you heard today. I do want to just briefly kind of build on what Shoshana mentioned earlier about how this finally kind of got across the finish line and really got moving. And we really want to thank Director Liu for her leadership on this. I think Shoshana was on the job for just a couple of months when she personally agreed to come down and tour all of our military facilities and see their transportation needs up close and hear from our commanders. That was really at the urging of our previous Transportation Commissioner, Rocky Scott, who was a great champion of Highway 94. One of the first briefings we heard was from Colonel Jennifer Grant and heard about the extraordinary missions that take place down the road here at Schriever. And we had a van full of folks from CDOT. I think it was Shoshana. Shane was probably the one driving the van, along with Rob Fry, Karen Rowe, and we also had great support from the Colorado 30 group, Don Addy. They've been great advocates for these improvements, and the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce and EDC, Reggie Ash was with us. So I think that evening is when a plan was finally hatched, and Shoshana had the notion that we could put all these projects together and pursue this grant and really make some special things happen. So today's really a culmination of all that work, and I thought it was really important to understand how we finally got across the finish line, and appreciate Commissioner Hickey mentioning that it does take a long legacy. Commissioner Stewart, Commissioner Scott, and now Commissioner Hickey getting us to where we are today. So thank you very much. And I would like to introduce, okay, thank you, Deputy Commander Colonel Randy Combs from Space Base Delta 1.
All right, thank you, Andy, much appreciated. Good morning, and thank you. Thank you to CDOT, Pikes Peak Rural Transit Authority, Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, and El Paso County. And thank you for the invitation and allowing Chief Lambert and I to represent our Schriever Space Force Base service members, employees, and families. Schriever is home to a variety of vital U.S. Space Force and national defense missions, and this project emphasizes the need for a safe and reliable transportation corridor to service our base populace and the no-fail mission that our great nation expects of us. It is not lost on us that Schriever Space Force Base is a super user of Highway 94. At Schriever, we service more Space Force Guardians than any other installation worldwide. And the safety of our airmen, guardians, soldiers, sailors, and Marines, both military and civilian, is paramount. Without them, the mission is not possible. And we value our continued partnerships and relationships with the county and transportation officials making these safety improvements possible. All right. And now please welcome Mr. Mark Brooks from the SEMA Construction Project Director.
Thank you, Mr. Combs. Good morning. My name is Mark Brooks. I'm Project Director for SEMA Construction. On behalf of SEMA Construction, I want to extend a sincere thank you to CDOT, Federal Highway Administration, El Paso County, our military partners, and all the key stakeholders that made this project come true. In addition to providing the much needed infrastructure and safety enhancements to the roads that service our military bases, all the MAMSIP projects injected over $97 million of local supplier and subcontractor opportunities and sustained the direct employment of over 800 construction-related personnel in the Pikes Peak region. As a Colorado-based and family-owned construction company, SEMA and our construction partners are incredibly proud to be a part of such an important project for the community. Shane, I believe you have a few concluding remarks. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank all of our speakers, and SEMA, I'd like to thank you for the construction on behalf of CDOT. I'd also like to thank, again, the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority, Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, Central Front Range Transportation Planning Region, Federal Highway Administration, El Paso County, City of Colorado Springs, our local military partners, and our community. I'd also like to thank my CDOT team. I'd like to thank Randy Johnson for leading the construction of MAMSIP, Mike Schreiber really assisting and helping that team out, the designer Eric Poling, Scott Schnocky, resident engineer of the design, and retiree Dan Hunt, resident engineer of the construction previously. So with that, I believe we're ready for the ribbon cutting, which will be taking place over here on this black table on the side. So thank you very much.